Sean Diddy Combs, once considered a towering figure in the music industry, fashion world, and cultural zeitgeist of modern America, now finds himself at the center of a spiraling legal scandal that is reshaping not only public opinion but also the future of celebrity accountability. What began as whispers of troubling behavior over the years has exploded into a devastating courtroom drama, with newly surfaced allegations revealing the dark undercurrents of a life long painted in glitz and glamour. The latest bombshell centers around an explosive accusation. Prosecutors allege that Diddy coerced an escort to perform a shocking and degrading act on his former partner, singer Cassie Ventura. The public, the media, and the entertainment industry are reeling from the gravity of the charges, and the world watches closely as layers of alleged abuse, manipulation, and secrecy peel away from Diddy's once carefully managed image. Cassie Ventura, known professionally simply as Cassie, was long seen by the public as the mysterious and stylish woman constantly by Diddy's side. Their relationship was often described as on again, off again, peppered with rumors but seldom confirmed details. For years, questions swirled about the true nature of their relationship. Was it romantic, controlling, business, or some combination of all three? But it wasn't until Cassie filed a lawsuit in 2023 that the veil began to lift. In that lawsuit, she accused Diddy of years of emotional and physical abuse, manipulation, and coercive control, painting a disturbing picture of what she endured while under his influence. Though the initial lawsuit was settled quickly and privately, many suspected it was only the beginning of a much larger reckoning. They were right. Fast forward to 2025, and now federal prosecutors have picked up the case with fresh allegations and witnesses who are allegedly stepping forward with harrowing details. The most shocking among them is the claim that Diddy arranged for an escort to engage in a sensual and deeply traumatic act with Cassie, an act orchestrated and observed by Diddy himself as a display of dominance, control, and psychological degradation. The prosecutors allege that this wasn't an isolated incident, but part of a disturbing pattern of behavior designed to break down Cassie's autonomy and reinforce her dependence on him. These are not merely sensationalized accusations for the headlines. They are being laid out in legal documents with witness statements, receipts, and corroborating evidence that investigators claim build a damning case against the mogul. The fallout has been swift. Major media outlets that once celebrated Diddy's achievements and entrepreneurial endeavors are now devoting extensive coverage to the court proceedings, each revelation adding more gravity to the situation. Industry peers who once sought his endorsement or collaboration are now issuing carefully worded statements of concern or distancing themselves altogether. Brands that were once tightly aligned with the Bad Boy Records founder are reconsidering their affiliations, pulling advertisements, canceling appearances, and rethinking business deals. Diddy's publicist has issued a blanket denial of the charges, calling them outrageous and a transparent attempt to destroy his legacy. But for many, the statements ring hollow against the backdrop of a growing mountain of allegations that appear to share chilling similarities. The entertainment industry has long wrestled with the dark sides of power and influence. From Harvey Weinstein to R. Kelly, the pattern is familiar. A revered male figure accrues significant cultural and economic capital, enabling behaviors that go unchallenged for years. Victims often stay silent due to fear, manipulation, or contractual obligations. When they do speak up, they are frequently dismissed or vilified. But in this post-Me Too era, the tolerance for such abuse is rapidly diminishing, and the system that once protected men like Diddy is beginning to crack. This case, with its graphic and deeply disturbing details, represents a new test for how far justice can reach when the accused is not only powerful but deeply entrenched in the very machinery that shapes popular culture. Cassie's role in this narrative cannot be overstated. For years she remained quiet, maintaining a composed public image even as rumors swirled. Her decision to come forward, first in a civil lawsuit and now as a cooperating witness with prosecutors, has been described by advocates as incredibly brave. The psychological toll of such experiences, especially when tied to someone who once held deep personal and professional sway over your life, is immense. Prosecutors have indicated that Cassie will provide testimony that goes beyond what was mentioned in the original lawsuit, shedding light on behind the scenes coercion, psychological warfare, and manipulation that allegedly left her feeling trapped and voiceless. Her cooperation is seen as central to building the case and may encourage other women to come forward as well. Adding further gravity to the unfolding drama is the alleged testimony of the escort involved in the incident. According to prosecutors, she has corroborated Cassie's account and has provided chilling details of how she was recruited, the conditions under which the act occurred, and the psychological manipulation that surrounded the event. This is not simply about salacious details. This is about the weaponization of sex as a tool of control and degradation, and the systemic abuse that can fester when accountability is absent. Legal experts say the inclusion of this testimony could make it significantly harder for Diddy's legal team to argue that this is a he said, she said scenario. The consistency of the accounts, combined with alleged physical evidence, may form the backbone of a powerful criminal case. In parallel, the cultural reckoning around celebrity and accountability is once again reaching a fever pitch. Social media is ablaze with debates about power, fame, and justice. Some fans, long loyal to Diddy's image as a hip-hop pioneer and mogul, are struggling to reconcile the artist they admired with the man described in court documents. Others are calling for a full boycott of his music, businesses, and brand. Younger generations, who often lead the charge on social justice, are especially vocal, demanding that platforms like Spotify and Apple Music remove Diddy's catalog until the case is resolved. Whether that will happen remains to be seen, but the pressure is undeniable. This case also poses a significant challenge for the justice system itself. Historically, cases involving powerful figures often fizzle out due to legal maneuvering, settlements, or public relations campaigns that muddy the waters. But with federal prosecutors now involved and witnesses reportedly protected under immunity or anonymity clauses, the momentum seems to be shifting. Diddy's legal team is expected to mount a vigorous defense, possibly attacking the credibility of witnesses or attempting to suppress key pieces of evidence, but prosecutors appear confident, suggesting that what the public has heard so far is only the beginning. At the heart of this story lies a deeply uncomfortable truth. The capacity for cruelty, exploitation, and manipulation can exist even in those who are celebrated, admired, and emulated. For decades, Diddy built an empire on the foundation of charisma, business acumen, and musical brilliance. But beneath the surface, according to these allegations, was a man obsessed with control, willing to cross moral and legal boundaries to satisfy a twisted sense of power. The case forces society to question how many other stories remain untold, how many other victims were silenced, and what role the public plays in enabling or ignoring these behaviors. Cassie Ventura's decision to speak up is reshaping how the world sees not just Diddy, but the entire architecture of celebrity culture that often shields abusers. Her testimony and the details emerging from the case are already having ripple effects, prompting discussions in boardrooms, studios, and households around the world. People are asking how such acts could go unchecked for so long, and what mechanisms allowed a man accused of such horrifying behavior to remain at the top of the industry for decades. This case, in many ways, is about more than just one man or one relationship. It's a mirror held up to a society that often confuses success with virtue, and that gives far too much power to those who know how to manipulate perception. The days ahead will be pivotal. The court proceedings will likely be long, complex, and emotionally taxing for all involved. But they may also serve as a watershed moment, forcing a reckoning not just within the entertainment industry, but across every sector where power has historically gone unchecked. As the legal process unfolds, attention is now turning to the wider circle of individuals who may have been complicit in the actions described. Prosecutors have hinted that the investigation is ongoing and may result in additional indictments. This raises critical questions about the people who surrounded Diddy, his assistants, business partners, bodyguards, and industry associates. Were they aware of what was happening? Did they participate, enable, or turn a blind eye? This is not an isolated question, but rather one that haunts every high-profile case of abuse involving powerful figures. History has shown that enablers often play a key role in maintaining the illusion of invincibility, and the entertainment world is rife with such patterns. If Diddy is indeed guilty of the charges brought against him, then accountability must extend beyond just him. The system that allowed him to operate unchecked for so long must also be scrutinized. One of the most emotionally powerful elements of this story is the way in which Cassie's humanity is being restored in the public eye. For years, she was seen primarily as an accessory to Diddy's glamorous lifestyle, his partner, muse, or protege, but rarely as an independent person with her own narrative. That perception is changing fast. With each revelation, the public is beginning to see her not as a celebrity sidekick, but as a survivor of abuse. A woman who has found the courage to confront not just her abuser, but an entire industry that failed to protect her. Her voice, once muted by fear or contractual silence, is now at the center of one of the most important legal battles in recent entertainment history. That transformation is resonating with people across the world, especially women who have experienced similar forms of coercion and exploitation. Meanwhile, Diddy's empire is facing unprecedented turmoil. His business interests span music, fashion, liquor, and television. The ripple effect of the allegations is being felt in every corner of those ventures. Investors are growing nervous. Collaborators are reconsidering their associations. Even longtime friends and supporters are going silent. The same charisma and confidence that once drew people to him now read as eerie in light of the allegations. The glossy image of the self-made mogul, the man who rose from Harlem to become a global icon, is now being examined under a different light. What was once seen as ambition and showmanship may now be interpreted as manipulation and egotism. The legal battle is likely to be complex and drawn out. Diddy's legal team, known for their aggressive tactics, is expected to challenge every piece of evidence, question the credibility of every witness, and mount a defense designed to sway not only the court but public opinion. The strategy may involve painting Cassie and the escort as unreliable, or suggesting that the acts in question were consensual or misunderstood. But prosecutors have stated they have compelling evidence, including electronic communications, testimony from multiple witnesses, and potentially even surveillance footage. If true, this evidence could form the cornerstone of a case that resists efforts to deflect or diminish its impact. Public reactions continue to evolve. Social media is filled with impassioned commentary, with some voices urging caution and due process, while others express outrage and demand immediate consequences. The divide is often generational. Older fans who grew up with Diddy's music are finding it difficult to reconcile their nostalgia with the accusations, while younger audiences, shaped by a more progressive culture, are calling for swift justice. The discussion is also intensely racialized, with some arguing that Diddy is being targeted more harshly because he is a powerful black man, while others insist that race cannot be used to excuse or deflect from the gravity of the alleged crimes. Cultural commentators and legal analysts are weighing in daily, offering interpretations and insights into the broader implications of the case. Some have compared it to the downfall of other once untouchable figures, noting that Diddy's case feels different because of the level of psychological cruelty described. Others point out that the case could set new legal precedents for how coercive control and psychological abuse are prosecuted, especially when the abuse occurs within a romantic relationship. These discussions are not just academic. They are shaping the public's understanding of consent, power, and trauma in deeply meaningful ways. The entertainment industry, which for decades has operated under a cloak of impunity, is once again being forced to reckon with its complicity. Executives, producers, and agents are reportedly reviewing their own legal exposure and reevaluating relationships with high-profile clients, HR departments across major studios and record labels are scrambling to ensure that they are not harboring similar predators in their midst. Diddy's downfall, if it continues, could trigger a new wave of disclosures and internal investigations, not unlike the domino effect seen in the aftermath of the Weinstein scandal. This isn't just about punishing one man, it's about changing an entire culture. One element of the case that is drawing particular attention is the psychological toll on the victims. Experts in trauma have explained how long-term abuse, especially when emotional manipulation is involved, can erode a person's sense of self. Cassie's silence for so many years is being understood not as complicity, but as survival. The escort who has come forward with her own painful story is also being praised for her bravery, especially given the stigma and vulnerability associated with her profession. These women are not just victims, they are witnesses, advocates, and symbols of a broader movement that refuses to be silenced. As the legal proceedings advance, new documents are expected to be made public. These could include detailed timelines, financial records, video footage, and more witness testimony. Each new release has the potential to deepen the scandal or reshape public perception. Journalists and investigators are working tirelessly to verify facts, connect dots, and uncover the full extent of what allegedly happened behind the closed doors of Diddy's lavish homes and exclusive parties. The court of public opinion is active, but the actual court, the one that will determine guilt or innocence, operates by a slower, more deliberate rhythm. Still, the weight of evidence seems to be shifting toward a narrative of profound abuse and exploitation. The legacy of Sean Diddy Combs, once celebrated as a symbol of success and cultural influence, is now hanging by a thread. If found guilty, he may face prison time, financial penalties, and the complete dismantling of his career. Even if acquitted, the stain of the allegations may be impossible to remove. Public trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. His awards, achievements, and honors are already being called into question. Discussions are underway about removing him from industry boards, revoking honorary titles, and severing his connection to prestigious institutions. The transformation from icon to pariah is a swift and brutal one, and it reflects a society that is finally demanding accountability from those it once placed on a pedestal. Meanwhile, for Cassie Ventura and the other women involved, the journey is far from over. Legal processes are grueling, re-traumatizing, and deeply invasive. Their courage in speaking out comes at a personal cost, emotional, social, and professional. But their willingness to confront such a powerful figure is also inspiring a new generation of survivors to speak their truth. Support groups, social movements, and advocacy organizations are rallying around them, offering solidarity and resources. The ripple effect of their bravery is being felt in ways that extend far beyond a courtroom. This story is about more than fame and scandal. It's about the fundamental human need for safety, respect, and justice. It's about how societies enable abuse through silence and how change begins when someone dares to speak up. The legal outcome of this case will be significant, but its cultural and emotional impact may be even greater. As the world watches, a new chapter in the fight against abuse and impunity is being written, not in tabloid headlines, but in courtrooms, support circles, and the hearts of people everywhere who believe that no one, no matter how powerful, is above the law. Even as Diddy's legal team continues to deny the allegations and prepare for a fierce defense, the cultural shift underway is undeniable. Public tolerance for abusive behavior cloaked in fame and wealth is evaporating. The idea that talent can excuse cruelty is losing its grip on the collective consciousness. People are beginning to understand that true greatness includes character and that the cost of ignoring abuse is too high to bear. Whether or not Diddy is found guilty in a court of law, the court of public opinion has already delivered its own form of judgment. And that judgment is echoing through boardrooms, recording studios, and living rooms across the globe. The months ahead will be pivotal. Pretrial hearings are expected to bring more evidence into the public sphere. Additional civil suits may be filed as more alleged victims find the strength to speak up. There is a sense that this is just the beginning of a much larger reckoning. one that could redefine how the world views fame, success, and accountability. If justice is served, it may not only bring closure to those directly involved, but also create a blueprint for how to confront power with truth in the future. As this story continues to unfold, one message rings louder than any other: silence is no longer an option. The time when powerful men could operate with impunity, shielded by fame and fortune, is drawing to a close. A new era is emerging, one where survivors are believed, where abusers are held accountable, and where justice, though delayed, is finally within reach. And in that new era, stories like Cassie's will not just be cautionary tales. They will be rallying cries for change, resilience, and hope.